Alright, how we're getting on. Hope you're all having a very good Easter and enjoying sitting there and scoffing all your eggs. So we're back again, match preview of our game on Easter Monday, second from last home game of the season, Blackburn Rovers, looking to get some kind of momentum and form getting into these playoffs. If you haven't seen the review video of the Bristol City game, links on the screen now if you want to watch it, where I discussed the terrible performance of the referee Oliver Langford and also the performance of Tommy Watson. Both absolutely shocking in their own right, but I'll be touching on Tommy Watson a little bit later when we look at the team selections. Now, Blackburn are managed by Valérien Ismaël. Now, unbelievably, I think Valérien Ismaël is only something like 49 years old, but he's had 12 clubs in a 14-year managerial career. Some stat that. In fact, the longest time he spent in a club was just under 2 years in his first job when he was at Hanover 96. Like I say, since then he's had 12 clubs. You might remember he was at Watford in 2023. Didn't even last. I think didn't even last a year there. He's then getting the Blackburn job where he struggled again. He's managed 9 games, won 2, drew 2, lost 5, only scored 10 goals in them games, conceded 12, got a goal difference of -2 and a win percentage of only 22%. However, even though he's struggling, Blackburn have won the last 2 games. They beat Millwall and then they beat Luton before that. But you see the run prior to that was absolutely unbelievable, which was like 6 defeats and 2 draws. Terrible run, but like I say, they've turned things around a little bit by winning the last 2 games. Having said that, we know where they were early part of the season when John Eustace was in charge. They were up around the playoffs challenging with us. They were in a really, really good form. But I did say when we played them earlier in the season that they were overachieving, and I did feel they would drop off. And that's exactly what's happened. Now, if John Eustace had stayed there, you never know where they might have been. However, like I say, since he's gone to Derby, the wheels have kind of come off, and they're currently sat in 10th place. Played 43, won 17, drew 8, lost 18, scored 49, conceded 46. They're on 59 points. They're 7 points outside the playoffs. Now, mathematically, they still can't get there, but being realistic, they've got no chance, have they? Away from home, they're not too bad. They've played 21 games. They've won 6, drew 4, lost 11. They've scored 17, conceded 24. They're currently on 22 points away from home, which sees them in 13th in the away form table. Now, having said that, they've got some good players now. Callum Britton is their top-rated player defender. Sondre Tronstad and Dominic Hyam, they're 3 top-rated players this season. Goal scorers that have struggled for goals, really. That they've not really got an out-and-out goal scorer, but Yoki Ohashi has got 8. Andy Vyman, who we might know from his time at Bristol City, has got 7. And Maktar Gay has got 6. Assists, now assist-wise, Todd Cantwell has got 6. Tyrese Dolan's got 6. And Maktar Gay's got 6. So, Todd Cantwell is a player who I've always thought he was decent at this level. He was at Norwich where he was spoken about really highly. He then went to Rangers where he did really, really well, but that's not. It's in Scotland. Everybody does well in Scotland if you've got anything about you. But then he's come to Blackburn and he hasn't really done that much, I don't think. Now, Blackburn fans, if you're watching, what's he been like? Is he going to be a threat? What's he done for you this season? But me personally thought he would have been better than what he has been. But he is a player who can create stuff and he can score goals. So, like I said, they've got some dangerous players in the squad. They're going to be coming here without really anything to fear, really. The season's over for them, I feel. Can work one or two ways. We've seen with Swansea in the last home game where they had nothing to play for, but they came up here with the right attitude. They wanted it more than us and they beat us. So Blackburn could easily come up here and do the same thing. So we're going to have to be right in our game. Looking to get some kind of form together and just get some wins on the board in these last 3 games to try and get into the playoffs with some momentum. Friday for us was much better. You know, I thought we started the game, even though we only had like 6-7 minutes when we had the full 11 men, but we started the game in the right frame of mind. We started, you know, in the right mindset. We were attacking, we were pressing Bristol City, and that's what I wanted us to see, is to get back to that high pressing game. Now, even though our backs were against the wall on Friday, I thought we put a decent performance in. You know, a fantastic goal by Eliza Mienda. And bearing in mind, in my eyes, we only had 9 men because Tommy Watson simply didn't show up and didn't want to know. He didn't want to put a tackle in, he didn't want to run about, didn't want to show any passion. And for a local lad playing for his local team, it's not right and it's bang out of order. And for me, he should be nowhere near the team, anywhere near for these last 3 games. He might be on the bench just to make the numbers up, but for me, he wouldn't even get on the pitch. He would be nowhere near the team. And we'll see on Monday if Regis Lebris has got any balls and takes him out. You know, because if he doesn't, and he has a bad game, and he puts in the same kind of performance he put in again on Friday, the fans are going to be on his back after the first 15-20 minutes. We'll be waiting for him to do something wrong, and that'll be it. You know, and it'll affect the whole team, and it'll affect the whole atmosphere of the game. So Regis Lebris has to do the right thing and has to take him out of the team. Now, based on that, now, you know, with the obviously we've got Trey Hugh missing as well, that 1 game ban that were not appealing, which in my eyes is probably good because he probably could deal with the rest. He's playing with an injury, and this week's rest will probably do him the world of good. Now, based on that, what do I think we'll do on Monday? Well, I think the team might look something like this. So I think we might have Anthony Patterson in goal, a back 4 of Alan Brown, Chris Mepham, Luke O'Nien and Leo Hjelde. In midfield, we could have Joe back in the team and Samed in midfield as well, with 3 in front of that of Patrick Roberts, Milan Alexic and Wilson Isidore on the left, and Eliza Mienda up front. Now, that will allow us to give Dan Neil and Chris Rigg, you know, the rest that I think they need, that they're crying out for. Samed, when he came on Friday, did alright, I thought. You know, my thoughts on him, he's not my cup of tea, and I don't think he's good enough, but he did show a little bit on Friday when he came on. And like I say, if it allows us to rest the likes of Neil and Rigg, I would play him. Wilson Isidore, we did buy him as a left-hand sided player, if you remember, so why not put him out there and leave me in to lead the line. Scored a great goal on Friday. You know, let's get one of the forwards into a run of form and scoring goals going into these last few games of the season. So that will be my team for Monday. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Who would you play? Would you make any changes? You know, what's your thoughts on Tommy Watson? And there's a lot of people on the review video was saying the same thing about Tommy Watson, shocking and should never play for us again. So that kind of is the consensus around the Sunderland fans of that about Tommy Watson. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below of what your team would be on Monday. Now, score predictions, I do fancy us on Monday, and I'm going to stick my neck out, and I'm going to go that we're going to go back to get back on form. I'm going to go for a brave Sunderland 3, Blackburn Rovers 0 scoreline. Now, a lot of you will think I'm absolutely mad based on how we've been playing lately, but I just want us to get back on form, and I want us to start to give, you know, a bit of a confidence boosting performance, get back to winning ways, get a decent win on the board. So a 3-0 would be a right shot in the arm going into the final 2 games. But get your score predictions in the comments below of what you think the score will be on Monday. Now, the shirt competition, now this is probably kind of an example of where we are at the moment as a team, when there were so many people predicted us to get beat. There was 4 people predicted a correct 2-1, which was David Newell, Gary Dunn, Mark Aki and Stu Digg, all got 5 points each. And the following people all predicted a loss: David Brown, John T, Kenneth Allen, Malcolm Hobkirk, Ray Knight, Man of the World and Trevor Henderson, and they all get 2 points each. So like I say, kind of state of play of where we are when this many Sunderland fans are predicting us to lose. Now that then leaves the overall score competition looking like this. John Ruddock still out on top, 63 points. Ray Knight is second on 56. Tim the Minion, third on 55. Kenneth Allen, fourth on 54. Mel Lacey, Peter Smith, fifth on 53. John T, sixth on 48. Alex Dixon, Chris Carter Jackson and Stuart Mack in seventh on 46. David Edwards is in eighth on 45. David Newell is in ninth on 44. And Brian Greener and Ibrahim Al-Mutwa are in 10th on 41. So get your predictions in the comments below and see if you can catch John Ruddock, who's looking more and more comfortable in that top spot for the new shirt for next season. Now the league table with 3 games left looking like this. Leeds are on top, 43 games, 91 points. Burnley are in second, 43 games, 91 points. Sheffield United are in third, 43 games, 86 points. We're in fourth, 43 games, 76 points. Bristol City are in fifth, 43 games, 67 points. Coventry are in sixth, 43 games, 66 points. Now other games on Monday, so Coventry go to Plymouth, Leeds host Stoke, Bristol City go to Luton, but the massive game on Monday, 5 o'clock kick or 5:30 kick off, is Burnley versus Sheffield United. Now, it could actually all be over regarding promotion come Monday night, because if Leeds beat Stoke and Burnley beat Sheffield United, Leeds and Burnley will be both promoted to the Premier League, because it'll leave Sheffield United not be able to catch them. So it's a massive week, a massive round of games potentially on Monday. So see Leeds, they'll be looking to pile the pressure on by beating Stoke, which I think they will do, and it'll leave Sheffield United having to go into Burnley and get a result. And I fancy Burnley for to win that one anyway. So, me personally think that the promotion race could be over come Monday night with 2 games left. Now, other games in the playoff picture, if Coventry and Bristol City both slip up in their away games, then West Brom, Millwall and Middlesbrough will be looking to capitalise, because Middlesbrough go to Sheffield Wednesday, Millwall host Norwich and West Brom host Derby. It could change as well for the playoff picture. So 2 big games really for Coventry and Bristol City. Plymouth and Luton both fighting for their lives. Not going to go down without a fight. So potentially it could be all change in that 5th and 6th spots as well. We'll have to wait and see how the games play out on Monday, but it's getting really tight to that 5th and 6th places. Now, if you don't mind, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. We're currently on 3,742 subscribers. We're only 258 away from that magic 4,000. So please, if there's 258 of you out there who are returning viewers or new viewers and you've enjoyed the video, hit that little black button. It'll cost you out, and see if we can get as close as we can to 4,000 before the end of the season. I'll be over the moon. I'll be greatly appreciated. You didn't know how much it would mean. I love the crack and love the band, and I've said before, I want this channel to be one of the best Sunderland channels out there on YouTube. So if you don't mind, whack that little button, whack the like button, and see if we can get it out to as many Sunderland fans as we can. Watch out for the match review coming out on Monday night after the game. I might wait till after the Burnley and Sheffield United game just to update you on the promotion race, which you'll probably know anyway, but I might wait till then. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend. Have a great Easter Monday if you go into the match. Any Blackburn fans, have a safe trip up and enjoy the game. But thanks for watching. Take it easy, stay safe, and we'll speak soon. Ta-ra.